Alright, so this is going to be a vlog about car insurance. Interesting situation. I had Allstate for 12 or 15 years. I went to Acceptance Car Insurance Company, and I had 3 cars covered, and I sold one back in May, and I've got another one that's up for sale, and I had bought a new car too. So anyway, it was real strange because they had me at like almost $300 a month insurance for the 3 cars, and I'm the only one that's driving them. And I have a really good driving record, no tickets and no wrecks are my fault, never lost my license, never had my license revoked for drunk driving or anything like that. So, anyway, I gotta go the other way. So anyway, once I sold the one car back in May, Cadillac that I got, my insurance didn't drop very much. And I was like, wow, holy heck. So my insurance payments were, one of the last ones got down to about $81. And I went ahead and paid it off early because I always pay extra on my bills, no matter what they are. And so I went ahead and paid that early, and they sent me a letter saying that my insurance was coming up for renewal again and all that. And I've argued with them several times about the rates. That they kept promising to do a review on my account and lower my rates like most insurance companies do. When you don't have any wrecks or tickets or anything, they keep lowering the rate. And so I've been with Acceptance, I guess, 2 or 3 years. And it's a real strange insurance company. They send you a bill, and it doesn't make much sense. They're like, pay it now immediately because your insurance will be null and void. But then it says if you don't pay it by, the 10th of the month, of the next month, then you have to pay an additional fee to start it over, like $15 or something. And it's not really like it's a 6-month or a year term. It looks like it's only 30 days at a time, the way they keep sending bills and stuff. So it's really strange. But anyway, so I get this bill for like $81 or something. It says, your insurance will be renewing soon. Like a month or 2 or something. So I go ahead and pay that sucker off real early. Get that done. And then on their computer app, which is always wrong, you'll pay the bill and then, 2 weeks later it'll say you owe $1 or 2 cents or some stupid thing. And they could cancel you for that. So I'm like freaking out, and I always pay those extra amounts, which it makes no sense at all. It kind of reminds me of Progressive Insurance. They'll send you a bill, you pay it, and the next thing you know, they cancel you because you didn't pay some other amount. And it makes no sense at all. So anyway, I paid that 81 something, whatever, and my policy is supposed to renew in like 2 months or something. And so, I wanted to go ahead and make a payment on the new insurance, and I was hoping they'd, lower the rate. And I called them and asked them about it and all that. Why have they not done the review? When's it going to get cheaper? I'm down to 2 cars now. So they're like, oh yeah. Well, I get a bill in the mail for $81. I go on the website a couple weeks ago and go to pay it, on the automatic thing, and they took $190. And I'm like, what the hell? So for the next 24 hours, I'm trying to call and reach them, and they're the worst company to try to reach. Allstate, you can catch them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Because if your local office isn't open, their corporate office is open, and you can call them 2 in the morning and they'll answer. But not with acceptance. It's really strange. So I spent a few days trying to reach them. One of the days I called, they had me on hold for 2.5 hours, saying that I was, like 8th in line, and it got down to like, number 1 in line, and they just never came to the phone. I think we were just all looking stupid on there, and nobody was really there. It was on a Saturday, and they just never came, and I got tired of it. But I wanted to catch them quick because, we could do a chargeback on that, that $190. Because my bill was $81. It's ridiculous. So anyway, I called on Monday, and the girl in the office was like, well, that's just what it is, and it renewed, and I'm like, well, what does that cover? Is that 6 months? Is that for the month? Or I don't get it, because $190 is like $5 a day car insurance. That means that if I don't drive my car that day, I lose like $5 worth of car insurance. That's just insane insurance. It's like for a drunk driver or somebody that had a license suspended or repoed, which I've not had any of that in my life. So, but it was really bad. So they couldn't quite explain it. They said to call this other number, so I called the other number, talked to those people there, 2 or 3 people to transfer me to, and I tell them all this info, and then it was like the wrong person. They had transferred me to another one and do other that. Then in the end, it's like a 20-minute conversation with the last person, and then, you got to call corporate. So they give me that number to call them. So I got to call them, wait on hold, all that, until somebody come, explain what's going on, say, why did you take $190 of my money? And so, they couldn't quite explain it except for the fact, insurance was raised all across the board. And I said, well, okay, then describe your board. I want an exact description of what you're talking about. She said, well, it's across Arizona and California and all over. And I'm like, well, I just find it a bit odd that my insurance has changed price 2.5 times of the normal price, and I have less cars on this policy that renewed, and I was supposed to get a refund back on the other car that sold back in May, and it doesn't make any sense. Explain to me, because you didn't send me a notice. And they're like, oh yeah, we did. And I'm like, you didn't send me any notice as to what? The $190 you charged me when the bill was $81 on your website and in my mail. How you came to the conclusion of $190. So, they're like, but it'll be cheaper next month. It'll be $170. I was like, oh, no way. There is no possible way we are doing that. And I said, so tell me what my coverages are. Because they wouldn't let me lower my coverages, because with the Cadillac, I always had higher coverage. And, because, I wanted it in case somebody hit the car or damaged it. And because you're kind of at a loss if the car isn't worth a whole lot, you don't really want to put full coverage insurance on it, because you're just paying a whole bunch of money for a bunch of nothing, because when they come out to bid it, if anything happens to it, they're going to give you like $400 or $800. They're just really bad, the insurance companies. So if you can get it away with just paying liability, you're really better off, because it's so hard to get your money out of them. It wasn't real hard to get money out of Allstate ever on any claims. It just takes forever to get the money from them or get them to do something. But anyway, so I said, well, explain to me why this is so high. And they really couldn't quite explain it. I said, well, I should have received some kind of written notice as to why that amount is that, da 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 da. So, they really couldn't explain it, except they said everybody's insurance got raised. But I said, look, I got no tickets, no accidents. I don't know why you're raising my insurance. So, when I go to the DMV to renew my tags on my cars the other day, the girl at the DMV says, don't feel bad, they jacked mine too. And I'll say, well, do you have acceptance? And she's like, no. She says, I think it's just a worldwide thing that they just raised all insurance prices. And I'm like, well, it just seems odd to me they can jack it up that high. And, you know, it's not governed by what percentage they can raise it, you know, per year or whatever. And two, and no written notice. You know, I'm just not seeing this here. So, I mean, I'd like to have a description of what I'm paying for. You know, break it down for me, man. You know, I mean, if you've got a raise for some reason, well, you need to send me a letter and tell me about it. You know, or tell me why or whatever. You know, I mean, that's normally what insurance companies do. So, anyway, they said, well, we sent you letters. Well, I never got any and all that. So, you know, the DMV girl, that kind of confirmed it, like, well, I guess I'm not the only one. Well, so then I said, well, you know, when I get time, I'm going to go see some insurance companies and see what their rates are, to see if it's just acceptance or several companies or what it is. So I went over to State Farm, which I was insured with them back in 87, I guess it was. And drove a big Lincoln back then and stuff. They, you know, looked me up. Of course, they didn't have me on the accounts because that was ages ago. I didn't think it would still be there anyway. So he looks it up and goes to go through it, and then he's telling me that liability on the cars that I own right now, only liability, is going to be just under $300 a month. I went, oh no, and hell no. So, I decided that, you know, I better go down and renew my auto club membership, because I found out that when you do claims, that every claim is a claim at an insurance company, whether it's a lockout, flat tire, tow truck call, whatever. If you're signed up with all that stuff on your insurance, your car insurance, they call it a claim if you ever use it, and they call it against you. I thought claims were just claims like if your car got hit. You know, no, that's not true. So, anyways, like, well, you have, you know, had all these claims in, you know, like 15 years or something. And I'm like, no. And no accident has ever been my fault. So, anyway, he's like, well, that's the best I can do. And I don't have credit rating because I don't do credit stuff. I pay my bills. That's all I do. And, so, you know, it's that position of, well, if you can't afford it, don't buy it. I don't do credit anymore. I used to years ago. Don't do it. So, I had got this auto club card, which I was a member for like 20 years, a long time ago in California. It was pretty cheap back then, but they had a really bad service. They like never come. And actually, Allstate tow truck service and all that is the worst on the face of this earth, and no tow truck likes to take it because they take too long to pay. And I found that out from tow truck drivers. So with my auto club, when I used it a couple times last year, you get 4 calls on the card. No matter which card you buy, all you get is 4 calls, period. That's it. No matter what you call for. And but they have like 300-mile tows and stuff like that, depending on which card you buy. It's really worth it if you travel and stuff, which I do all the time. So I thought, well, I'm going to buy that, and I'll just use that for all my extra stuff. And then I won't use the car insurance, tow truck stuff, and all that, unless it's pertaining to a car wreck, because they'll call it a claim. I just didn't want to do any more claim stuff unless it was a car wreck. So, anyway, I went over to the auto club place and decided, well, I better get the sucker renewed. So I went to go renew it, and they gave me a really good deal renewing it, actually, because I had done it online last year, and they charged me all kinds of money, and it would have been cheaper if I'd just gone in the office. And then I got a card from one of my kids for free, which online it says you have to buy the second card for $40 or $60. So, which gives additional service calls. It's not just routing off of my account. It actually is like a whole nother card with 4 calls on that card and 4 calls on mine. So, that was really cool. And then I asked her, I said, well, can you give me a rate? Because I understand you have car insurance, too. Can you give me a rate on the car insurance? Well, now, if you're a member, they give you a really good discount. Other than that, she run it up, and she says, for just liability and all that, it's going to be like, I don't know, I think it was $75 a month for all my cars. I'm like, whoa. She says, but would you like to see what it is for, full coverage? I said, well, sure. She says it could be pretty good. And she runs it up, and she gets it to where it's going to be like $100 a month. I said, are you kidding me? I said, because my insurance company just charged me $190 for no reason at all. And they said, but next month will be cheaper to be $170. I said, that's 2.5 times what I'd normally pay. That's insane. And they claim they just raise rates on everybody. She said, well, that's bogus. And then I gave her, I was going through all the papers, and finally I just handed a stack to her from that insurance company. I said, because I can't even explain to you what this stuff is, because, it doesn't even make sense to me. It doesn't say a term, or if it's paid for 30 days, or what that is. And I just handed her the stack. She's looking through it. She says, none of this makes any sense. And I said, well, I know. And right now I'm driving down the back roads of Alabama. So anyway, I was like, what? So I said, well, what does it cost me to start it up? And it was like 100 something. And I said, well, I'll just take the full coverage thing. They had a $250, a $350, and a $500 or something deductibles that I could pick. And they were only like $10 apart altogether. And I said, well, hell, I think I'll just take the $250 one, because that's not going to hurt me. So she says, okay. So I said, now can I separate my insurance where, my cheaper cars that I don't care about insuring full coverage because the mileage I'm looking at, can I, make those liability, and then get the uninsured motorist and the non-insured motorist and all that extra little stuff? And she says, sure. I said, well, that's what I like, because my current insurance company won't do it. They said they all have to match all the way across. So, and especially if you have a car that's not running, that's so stupid to put all that stuff on there. So anyway, she set it all up, and I'll pay her just a little over $100. They charged me a really cheap rate to renew my card. I think it was like $60-$70 or something, because it had expired like in April, I think. And so I walked out of there with car insurance, way cheaper, and my tow truck card, my auto club card, for about $200, something like that, on the spot, boom. And an additional card from one of my kids. Really cool. So, because I got the family friends deal thing. And I really suggest you go into their office. Don't do their website, because that's a mix-em-up deal. The rates just don't even match on the website versus going in their office. I was really impressed, but I just wanted to tell you about that. If anybody else is having trouble with their insurance company, or you, or with acceptance, tell us your story down below in the comments, because I would be intrigued to know if you went through the same thing that I just did, And even to this day, when I went to sign the cancellation on my acceptance insurance just a little bit ago, I asked them to print up what it is I paid for the 190 and how long that term's for, what it goes to, and they couldn't even figure it out. That's really bad if they can't figure it out. So, I don't know what this person is doing, but it sure would be nice if they drive the car. So, it's so sad when people are so involved on these telephones and they don't pay attention driving. So anyway, go ahead and comment below and tell us your story. And if you would, let us know what kind of insurance coverage you have if you're, with whatever company. And if you had a weird raise or something for the year of 2019 all of a sudden. Alright. Thought I'd just drop a line with you here and see what you've got to say. And I'll tell you some more later. Talk to you later. You have a good one.